All right, welcome back,
We're
everybody,
on.
to
All right.
another exciting and interesting uh, episode of the Ad Files. I'm
I
joined
would
once
say
again by
so.
none other than Daniel Arias. What's up, Daniel?
What's going on? Good to be here as always. Uh been a while. Uh
Been a little bit.
we're here. That doesn't you know what? It's funny, like once we hit record, it's like we never left. And I think that's a good thing. Like, yeah, what's changed? Nothing, but everything.
Nothing, nothing. Just the
Dude,
days.
what's been going on with you? Is it just the same old?
Yeah, I know. I lead a pretty boring life. It's just work and work,
But you
and
know what though?
then
It's there were those adventures though where we're like, holy crap, how are we alive still? So those are
yeah,
those are gonna
yeah.
make for a good book for sure. Uh
Hopefully
so
one day.
what do
Yeah.
we got? Dude, what do we got on the docket today? Good sir.
So okay, we're gonna just go right in.
Oh
Let's
no, no,
go.
before we do that, wait, before we do that, guys, if you like this type of content, make sure you like and hit the subscribe button and share it to your friends, enemies, conspirators, whatever you guys do out there. Um, and yeah, I
Do all
had to
that
get
good
that out of
stuff.
the way. Yeah, dude,
Yeah,
do it. All
do
right.
it. Do it.
Yes.
Uh, so anyway, we're going to get into it. So in the fall of 1982, a terrifying mystery gripped the United States. One by one, ordinary people were dropping dead, seemingly without cause. Their only common connection? They had taken Tylenol, the nation's most trusted over-the-counter pain reliever. In a matter of days, fear swept the country. Store shelves were emptied, families panicked, and a frantic manhunt began. This is the story of how a silent killer turned a staple of American medicine into a weapon, a cause that shook the country, changed consumer safety forever, and to this day, it still remains unsolved.
Whoa. What? That's terrifying. That's wait a minute. Hold on. There's so many. This happened in my lifetime,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I don't remember any of it.
It happened. Well, it was in Chicago.
Okay, as is
At the
most
time.
murders. Yeah,
I think about
yeah.
80%, 70 of
Okay,
the
yeah.
country's murders happened there.
The fact that people actually come out of Chicago is amazing. Um, okay, so cool, cool. So I'm actually like flabbergasted, if I can use that old term, um, because that would shake trust forever. And I feel like if I knew that happened, I wouldn't be so quick to take pain relievers.
Well, yeah,
Like,
it was pretty crazy how it happened. Uh, you know, and
so
apparently, like back then, they didn't have like child safety caps like they do now. So everyone's so
wait.
used to the way that they're made and they come now. Apparently, back then, it was just you just flip the bottle open. Anybody could get into it.
Wow. I mean, I figured it. I figured like any type of safety precaution is there for a reason, probably because of Jim. You're right. Jim just liked the smell of paint, so he decided to eat it. And then that's why we have the don't eat paint warning on the paint cans.
Oh, all
So,
that kind of stuff, right?
okay. Okay. So I'm consider me insanely interested. How what what did was it a replacement pill that I gotta hear it. All right. Tell me,
All right,
tell me. I
so
am dying to hear this.
so I mean, it's a regular morning, regular day, September 29th, 1982. In a peaceful suburb just outside of Chicago, a 12-year-old Mary Killerman woke up feeling sick. Her parents gave her one extra strength Tylenol. Minutes later, they heard a big thud. Bam. They know what happened. She had collapsed in the bathroom. They called the paramedics. Paramedics rushed her to the hospital, but it was too late. Mary was pronounced dead by 7 a.m.
Holy shit.
So that same day, 27-year-old postal worker Adam Janis left work early, complaining of chest pain. He went to a nearby, uh, I guess, like a pharmacy or like a CVS at that time. It'd be
Okay.
considered like a
Like a
CVS,
like a
right?
drug like a drugstore.
Like,
Okay.
like a
Yeah.
drugstore, right? Yeah, Arlington Heights. Picked up a bottle of Tylenol, took 2 capsules. Minutes later, he too collapsed. He died at the hospital within hours. So the family gathered to mourn. At Adam's home, his younger brother Stanley and sister in law Teresa also took Tylenol for stress induced headaches. Both collapsed within minutes. Stanley died that evening, and Teresa, she passed away the next day.
Holy crap. What? Those are some fast well, you know what though? Here, let's just if I can be candid. I mean mm, I mean extra strength. There's really no limit on that. No one really knows what extra strength means, and they probably weren't hurting after. So
Well, no, they were dead.
were they just highly effective? Tylenol, super
They were
effective
super
pill.
effective. They didn't have any
Jeez,
headaches or
it's,
anything after that.
it's healed, bro. Jeez, man. Okay, that's
So,
that's
three
pretty
family
fast.
members gone, right?
Yeah.
Gone.
Wow.
These weren't just random deaths. The bodies told a disturbing story. Blood work showed an extremely high level of cyanide, a lethal
Oh
dose in every capsule.
shit. Oh shit. Oh no. That's what happens when you get like Nazis tampering with the investigation and like fucking pills. They're big, right? They're the big suicide tablets.
Yeah, yeah,
God.
crazy.
Oh man.
So,
I want
as the
did they put the cyanide in the list of ingredients? Because I feel like that would have cleared them for any wrongdoing. I think it's there. It's written.
they're like, oh, we just throw some cyanide in there.
you took Tylenol cyanide. You had to take Tylenol extra strength. Simple mistake. Clear mistake.
Wrong
Holy
bottle.
shit. Wrong bottle. Wow.
So, as the panic spread, other deaths were tied to the same mysterious circumstances. Mary Rayner, 27, had just given birth to her fourth child. She took Tylenol at home in Winfield, Illinois, and within minutes, she collapsed in front of her family and later died at Central DuPage Hospital. Later on, Mary McFarland, 31, of Elmhurst, Illinois, took Tylenol on her break at work. She collapsed in the break room. Imagine I have a headache. Let me just take a quick Tylenol. We got Tylenol. Throw your Tylenol. You take it. You're dead right there in the break room. How crazy!
I mean, I mean, it just that just unlocks all the fear. Like literally, like I wouldn't take nothing else. Like, if I was like active during this time when people were dropping, that would be the end of over the counter pharmaceuticals. That'd
Oh,
be the end of it. I would just like no, nope. The chance of dying is always there, but never. Not like this. This is different. This is like pro level. Like you're
hmm
gambling with your life. Nah, no, 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 no. But you know what's crazy is like how quick these people were dying. Like that's, I mean, then again, I don't really know jack shit about cyanide. You know, like that's not like, oh well, you obviously in this dosage, but it did those family members that were mourning and they took the Tylenol that must have been from the same source.
the same source, or they got it from like the same drugstore.
Because I'm like, you know, you if you have a bottle of Tylenol now, which I guess you can't really compare because pretty sure you're going to tell us what's happened since or why things are the way they are now. But
No,
you look
that's
in
just
the
it.
yeah, and that's it, guys.
It's
And
sold.
have a happy day. No, all the pills look the same. Like you look into the bottle, it's not like, oh, that one looks out of place.
Hmm.
If it's like a white pill, you would assume, because why not,
Right.
that one isn't cyanide. So
So,
that's
Paula Prince, 35, a United Airlines flight attendant, bought Tylenol at a Chicago pharmacy. Police later found her dead in her apartment. The opened bottle sat on her bathroom counter. 7 deaths in just a few days, all in the greater Chicago area, all victims of poisoned Tylenol. Now, of course, this sets in that whole panic. Within days, all these people are dying. The only connection they really have together is the bottle of Tylenol. So, I mean, it's just, crazy.
that's crazy, man. That's so nuts to think about. Like, you would think that big pharma would be out there killing people, like, to shut them up. Like, hey, it could have been a poison, anything else. That's crazy. Maybe big pharma wasn't funded like that then. Maybe this
Maybe
was
not
this
at that
was
time.
pre this was pre massive pharma, right?
Oh
So
yeah, this is
it,
before all that. All that.
this is when doctors came with satchels, I'm pretty sure, around to your house. And
These were this is when they were like honest people.
yeah, yeah. Oh my god, though. Because I mean, I'm telling you, I think I have right now at least 4 bottles of Tylenol in the house, in different areas of the house, just in my
Hmm.
bathroom, in the kitchen. And I think there's some down here. You know what I mean? Like, so holy crap, man. It's just
Can you imagine? Like
that's too much, man. That's too much.
you have
All
like
of
four
it.
bottles all over the place. Two, three of them could be laced with something. You know?
And what my thought is that, like, okay, what is it about Tylenol, or could it? My train of thought is it a batch of the pain reliever that's tainted and is also in, let's say, Advil or something else? And I'm like, well, Advil is not acetaminophen, it's ibuprofen. Get the fuck out of here. In my mind, I'm not thinking of that, you
Right.
know? So that's okay. Damn, dude. Okay.
So the deaths weren't subtle. Cyanide works quickly, blocking the body's ability to use oxygen. Victims essentially suffocate from the inside. When medical examiners open the capsules, the smell of bitter almonds, obviously, is that's a sign of cyanide, is that smell was unmistakable. So they open up the capsules. They take oh, she has a bottle or he has a bottle of Tylenol in her hand. So let's check it out. They look at the capsule. Now also, I believe it before, these were like capsules that you could actually break apart.
Oh,
So
okay.
back in the day, that's what the capsules were. You would take it, and the coating on it, the capsule itself, would dissolve inside, and then
Okay.
whatever medicine would be released, right?
Uh-huh.
So whoever did this put them in there, and stuck them in the bottles. Again,
Oh,
these weren't tamper-proof bottles back then because no one,
wow.
you know, they didn't have like the seal, they didn't have the child safety thing on them or whatever. Anyone you could walk in there and open the box, take the bottle out, pop the top, throw some in there, close the top, put it back in there. No one would even know.
You could basically take it off the shelf, and if it fell, it would just basically spill everywhere. Like,
Right?
the cap would fall off, and then your medicine is just
Yeah.
scattered. Oh
Yeah.
wow. Because yeah, okay, that's the tamper-proof seal. That's what it
Right.
is.
Right.
Wow, man. Okay.
Um, so Johnson and Johnson, the makers of Tylenol, were in crisis. Tylenol accounted for over 35% of their profits, but the company responded quickly. They issued a nationwide recall of 31 million bottles, costing over $100 million. And that's 100 million in 1982.
Yeah. No, but they needed to. Could you imagine if they did it?
They
Like,
had to.
they
They
had
had
to.
to.
Like, that's
There
that
was
is
no question like,
the
should we? It's like they have to.
and it's crazy because it wasn't like a regional callback. Because, right now I feel like Big Pharma would be like, no, what did happen? This county, this block, call those back. They
Hmm.
wouldn't be like all, So
Well, yeah,
again,
because they weren't sure how far the reach was. Like, is it just here in Chicago and in Illinois, or is it going to be in Wisconsin? Is it going to be, you
Yeah.
know, Maine or Connecticut?
Yeah.
Wherever. So
Wow.
probably one of those things they were just freaking out. And of course, when people start hearing it on the news, like one death, like okay, nobody really cared. It'd probably be local news. You got 7 people dying. Who knows how many more people could die? And that news goes all over the place. And of course, nobody wants to touch it.
No. No,
And
no, no.
everyone's
That's
taking anyone that has Tylenol in their house at that
it's
time,
thrown
probably
away.
threw it away.
Yeah. That's a no-brainer, dude. Your company is dead at that point. Like, uh, I mean, it's amazing to see how far Tylenol has come since the assisted suicides. But like
Yeah.
it's because look, whatever, cyanide is a suicide pill. Like fight me. In all the movies, all the historic accounts, cyanide is that. Um, but that's the fact that you could pull the tablets apart, put something in, close it back. Has to be premeditated. Like that is not an accident.
No.
That means they looked like a Tylenol. That means they looked like a Tylenol. That's because if it, I was thinking like, okay, if all the pills are white, right? Then it's like, oh, that's weird. But if like if I remember is it like it was like definitely like a blue and a red side, something like that.
Something
At
like
least
that. Yeah, I think, or
yeah,
like red and yellow or something, or I don't know.
yes.
But you're right. There was like 2 different colors.
Yeah, and so it's like all of that had to be meticulous. It had to be a meticulous uh pretty much I couldn't do that. I couldn't take apart a capsule, do my put it back, and then like that's I would break it. I would probably accidentally poison myself. You know what I mean? Like uh,
Oh,
I
too much Tylenol.
too much Tylenol. No, that's pretty nuts. That has to be premeditated. It has to be. How come that's not labeled as like an act of terrorism, bro?
Well,
Like
again, this is 1982.
so they're
I
just
mean,
they're hesitant on that word.
well, probably. I don't think they. I don't think that was. I don't want to like say like speak on it, but I'm thinking maybe that wasn't such a like terrorism probably wasn't such a big thing in the United States. Like in other countries, yeah, like hijackings and shit like that. But I think it was more like hijackings and a
Interesting.
bomb.
Because
But
that is 100%, I would say, more effective. Like to
well, that's
terrorize that,
psychological, man.
that's 100%. That's up there with like poisoning the water supply.
Yeah,
Like, dude, oh man, that's diabolical, bro.
that's crazy. Nah, I mean, come on, man. I mean,
Yeah,
that's somebody took the time out of their day to do that. So, like you said, take these tablets, put them together, and go around to different places
and
and
just
put them
boop,
in these.
boop.
Yeah. Um. So the FDA and law enforcement launched the largest tampering investigation in U.S. history. Products were pulled from store shelves. Warnings were broadcast nationwide. Stores in Chicago were swarmed by police and hazmat teams. Pharmacies locked their doors. Americans were terrified to take any medication. The fear was so widespread that sales of all capsules plummeted. This is like this is like Tim Burton's Batman when
Yeah,
the Joker put the cosmetic stuff and was like, "Hey, just take it," and then like everyone would die from it. So then they just stopped using any kind of deodorant, shampoo,
yeah,
cosmetics, and they all looked like shit.
yeah, dude.
Same
This is
thing.
huge. This
Yeah.
is absolutely insane. This is man. And my thing is, I wonder, and I bet it's not even able to be calculated. If it was just Chicago based, or did it bleed out somewhere else? Was the main hub of the cyanider? Uh, it's a shitty nickname. Don't quote me on that. I'm still working on it. Uh, cyanider. No. Is he like? Was it like localized? Like, okay, he must be working in this area, or is it like, hey, we have like 7 fuck ups in Texas? Like, what like what happened? Because how many deaths? Did they get all the deaths? Is what I'm trying to say. Do they map
Well,
all the deaths?
well, I'm pretty sure they did, but let's read the story and see what
Yeah,
happens.
yeah.
So how did it happen? Uh, Initial fears that the tampering occurred in the factory were ruled out. Investigators discovered that the poison bottles came from different production plants and distribution centers. This wasn't an inside job. So anybody that worked at like the plants or anything like that, they're like, okay, you all ruled out. They found out, right? Instead, the killer had gone store to store, bought bottles, opened them, filled some capsules with cyanide, resealed the bottles, and placed them back on the shelves.
What?
That takes a lot of time.
That's holy crap, man.
So,
That's like super villain shit. Like that's
oh
like
yeah, definitely.
super villain shit. Like, okay, we're not talking about like a
That's
murder
like
in the
that's like
woods. This
Butters.
is
What's his
like,
name? What's his name?
oh man, Captain Disarray or something like that.
Yeah, yeah.
Man, that is so like maniacal, bro. That is like we've covered murders on this channel before, but that is like super villainy. That is not, to me, that's above serial killer. That's like super villain. That's a
Yeah,
super villain type move.
yeah.
That talk about random and just widespread chaos and like a psyop being run.
Captain
Oh,
Chaos.
yeah, Captain Chaos. That's what it is. It's better than the cyanider. Sounds like a drink. Cyanider.
Sounds like a terrible drink, though.
Yeah, terrible. Don't drink that one. Golly.
So, a chilling detail: some of the bottles still had price stickers from different stores, suggesting the killer moved around the Chicago area planning their deadly traps. The motive unclear. The randomness made it all the more terrifying. These weren't targeted murders; these are a form of domestic terrorism. Just like you said, this is like domestic terrorism. It's you're just doing it to scare people,
Yeah.
right?
That's yeah.
But I don't think they. I could be wrong. I don't think they labeled it as domestic terrorism.
Hmm. Hmm. I mean, it 100% ticks all the boxes for that, though. You know,
Yeah.
granted, it's not like you're back then. They had a clear picture what terrorism was, and
Well, it had a clear picture of terrorism, and it wasn't.
yeah, it didn't look like Tylenol. So, um,
Well, it did look like Steve from down the street either.
definitely not Steve down the street. Oh man,
Oh man, yeah. So it's crazy. So this guy would go around, whoever he was, would go around, buy Tylenol, go home, take the cyanide and put it in there, meticulously put all the tablets back together, take it back to the store.
I
That,
wonder if
that
it was. I wonder if they were all cyanide,
Oh, you mean the whole the whole bottle?
the whole bottle. Do you think he just? It was just a because then that would add to the randomness.
Hmm.
Because then I feel like it's easier to make like a let's say a production line of capsule forgeries and fill them
Mhm.
with cyanide rather than just one per bottle. That's terrifying too. Because then it's just like it's like you have this the pretty much a sewer slide pill, right? Surrounded by actual good Tylenol,
I, you know,
which is
the
even
way that
more of a roulette.
well, well, the one family when they all like grabbed one out of the bottle. They all, I mean, I'm either the whole bottle was full of it or there was more than one capsule, and they just were unlucky and just took the
Holy
ones. So they all
crap.
took it. Yeah. So I'm thinking he probably stuck like a.
A
I think the
bunch.
whole bottle was filled with them. So he was like, "I'm gonna get you. If whoever
Yeah.
touches this bottle is gonna die."
Wow. Yeah. In order for the odor to come out, it has to be, I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure that would have to be a lot because they're sealed, right?
Yeah.
The capsules are sealed. So it has to, but see, that's what I'm saying. Like that would be different if it was like one per, but then you wouldn't have the bodies dropping in that close of a time period. If I guess it was just one pill per bottle.
Right.
Granted,
Right.
one
Yeah.
pill is all it took, but he probably filled the whole thing with cyanide.
Yeah. Yeah.
In order, because if all the bodies started mounting up, because think about it, that bottle shakes like crazy when you get to the store or take it from the store. You don't know where that pill is, and really who's going through a bottle of Tylenol a month. Maybe if you're unlucky or you're sick or whatever, like whatever, but that's rare. So
Yeah.
the people dying would be more sporadic and random and spaced out.
Hmm.
You know, it wouldn't be like all of a sudden seven. We got seven of them. That I'm sure I have the whole bottle must have been cyanide to ensure that that shit
Yeah, I think it was,
worked.
or at least most of the bottle was
Yeah,
cyanide. He probably left like some that weren't. I
yeah,
mean, maybe I don't know. I'm guessing, but yeah, my best guess would be it was the whole bottle. All the bottles were filled with cyanide.
yeah. Wow. Huh.
Um, so James W. Lewis became the investigation's most well-known suspect. Just days after the murders, Johnson and Johnson received a ransom letter demanding 1 million to stop the killings. The letter was traced back to Lewis living in New York. He was arrested and convicted of extortion, but investigators couldn't prove he had anything to do with the actual poisonings. In fact, records show he hadn't been in Chicago during that time frame.
He just
So
wanted
either
money. He just wanted money. He was like, "Hey, I
yeah,
know."
I think maybe he probably was like, "Oh, this is happening. I'm going to send them a letter. Give me $1 million, and I'll stop the killings,"
Yeah,
which I think was kind of dumb.
yeah.
But still, his background was disturbing. He had a history of fraud and bizarre behavior. He claimed he was trying to expose flaws in the system, a statement that only deepened suspicion. He served 13 years for extortion. And the other theories emerged. UFOs. No, I'm just kidding.
Bigfoot. Oh
Yeah,
man.
the chupacabra. No, a disgruntled ex-employee seeking revenge on Johnson and Johnson, a terrorist testing mass distribution methods, or a copycat killer who never struck again. Despite thousands of tips and $100,000 reward, no one was ever charged with the murders. In 2023, James Lewis died. With him may have died the last real lead.
Wow. Wow. Oh my god. Dude's still out there. It wasn't him. It wasn't him.
It
I'm
was that
sorry.
guy.
It wasn't him. It wasn't him. Whatever. Like, nah.
No.
It's someone in Chicago. It was someone there. Like, it was someone in that area. If you could triangulate where people bought their Tylenol from and do like that, the red yarn crazy hat
Hmm.
thing,
Yeah.
I bet you could triangulate the area of operation of this person, which I'm pretty sure many a detective has. But there's no way someone from New York orchestrated anything like that.
No. No. I mean, no, not something like that. But it was somebody. I believe somebody in the Chicago area that probably
Yeah.
had
What
a
a
just
dude.
being an asshole. And
What a fucking
but so
scary story, man. Holy
yeah,
crap.
well, the Tylenol case revolutionized consumer safety. Tamper evident packaging was born. Bottles now have foil seals, plastic wrapping, and tight caps. Federal laws were passed making production tampering a federal offense. The FDA began regulating packaging standards across industries. Johnson and Johnson was praised for its transparency and swift action. Many believe their responses helped save the Tylenol brand, but the victims' families never received closure. No arrests, no confessions, just silence. The randomness of the death still haunts investigators. These were innocent people plucked from everyday life, a child, a mother, a sister, a brother. No one saw it coming. So we often take safety for granted, but the Tylenol murders reminded us that security isn't always guaranteed. It took just a few pills to change the way we live, shop, and protect ourselves, and yet we still don't know who did it or why. So I mean, yes, these 7 people died,
That's crazy.
and it changed the way that products are made and packaged.
And that was like seven people, like what within a week? Like
Yeah.
that's I mean, it could have been look, it could have been a lot worse.
Oh,
It could
definitely.
have been a lot, like I was thinking he could, whoever this maniacal person is, uh, could have racked up a stupid amount of bodies on that.
Hmm. I mean, yeah. I mean, come on. I mean, so whoever did this just like walked away because they were never caught.
Do you think that person was trying to expose like flaws in this, because they did that real good, like almost to the point of being a tamper proof patent guy. It's like, hey, you want, who has something to gain? Me. I'm leading the way in tamper proof bottles. Buy from me. They're like, there's no need for you. Then he goes back to his lab. It's like, we'll see.
Yeah, I
We'll
mean,
see.
yeah, it could be. It could be. He was trying maybe flaws in the system, or just a sick person that wanted to kill people.
Give
And
him a
instead of getting
reason.
actual blood on his hands, he did it this way, which was never. You never really have to get too close to the person. You
Nope.
just know that it's going to happen.
And it's random.
Right.
Random.
Um. So they said every one of those, each one of those pills filled with cyanide was enough cyanide in there to kill 10 people from one pill.
Well,
So you're taking enough cyanide to kill 10 people. So that's definitely going to kill you within a matter of
well,
minutes.
well, I mean, at least there's that. I mean, at least there wasn't suffering, you could say that in a weird way, in a weird morbid way.
No. I don't know
Yeah,
how,
yeah.
I mean, from what it sounds like, they suffocated. So I don't know if there's like,
But I'm just like, dude, they had to work fast for them to be the go-to for sewer slide pills.
right. Yeah.
They have to work like fucking instant, you know. But yeah, man, that's terrifying. But what a change, that brought about like like the fact that there was a before that blows my mind. Like a before the safety seal, before the
Right.
tamper
Right.
proof, like the
Yeah.
fact that like that wasn't too long ago is also crazy. That it took that to make shit better, safer.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
if it was nowadays, I guarantee you, it would have been worse.
Oh
The,
my
the,
God.
the with the
Yeah.
twisted way people are right
Yeah.
now. I mean, not saying they've never been twisted. I'm just saying like all the crazy stuff that we got, like all the crazy, and like pharmaceuticals have gone nuts. Like there's so many. There's like I'm pretty sure 98% of people in this country are on something, right?
Oh
So it's
yeah.
like
Yeah.
so it's like it would have been, I feel like it would have been insane now. I feel like that's crazy, but 7 bodies still too much. Still too
Oh
much,
yeah. Way
but
too much.
still,
Yeah.
they those 7 people brought about change,
So
like on a big level.
a crazy fact, also a crazy fact about when this was going on,
Mhm.
there was the Chicago Rippers that were going on at the same time.
Is that like the sports team? Who's the
No,
Rippers? I have no idea.
that's not sports. Those are serial killers
Ah, like
that
Jack
were
the
going
Ripper, but in
Chicago
which is like a Tuesday.
in 1982.
Chicago is just not the place
It was actually a
to
group
be.
of, I believe it was a group of guys that were doing it at the same time. So at the same time that was going on, this happened.
So you got bodies on top of bodies. Jeez,
Yeah.
dude, that's
Yeah.
that's to me that's terrifying. Like the Rippers are one thing, but poisoning the water hole, pretty much like that's another thing. That's terror. That's I don't know, man. It's crazy.
Yeah. So that's the end of that story. Never found out who it was. 7 people passed. And because of those 7 people, unfortunately, that is now why we have tamper-proof products.
Thank you. That
Unfortunately,
blew.
it took that many people for that to happen. That's what happened. That's why we have it on our products nowadays.
That's pretty crazy, man. It's always that. It's all someone. I think there has to be a standard amount of bodies you have to throw at something before you put a label. Before you get a label, you
Yeah.
know. Hey, listen, on Claymores, it says front towards enemy. So think about that. You know,
Somebody looked at it the wrong
someone
way
didn't
at least
know.
once.
Every time there's a warning, it's it's there for a reason.
There for a reason.
That's crazy. That's nuts, man. Chicago, man. Jesus. You know, speaking of, can I go on a tangent real quick?
Sure, let's do it.
All right. Look, because I don't have anywhere else to bring this, so I might as well. I read something that what was my dude? He was in the same universe. The guy, the officer from Family Matters and Die Hard. They share the same universe.
Carl Winslow.
Yeah, Carl Winslow and the officer from Die Hard
Mm-hmm.
are in the same universe, bro. Now check this out. Ready for 2 seconds, and I'll digress. He got the whole affinity towards Twinkies from being I feel it was like the warden in Ghostbusters when Egon was talking about Twinkies,
Right.
right? He went and did his little thing with in Die Hard, where he was all effed up because he shot a kid in the line of duty,
Right.
right? And so when he killed that guy again, or not again, sorry, he killed the other guy in Die Hard.
Mm-hmm.
He snapped, and Family Matters is pretty much in his imagination. He snapped, and Family Matters is his in his mind, and Steve Urkel is the embodiment of the kid he killed.
Okay. Yeah, I've heard of that.
Isn't that
I
crazy?
heard that before.
That ruined my week, man. I was like, oh man, I love that kind of shit, man.
No, yeah, I heard that before.
Yeah, no, we were talking about Chicago, and that just like, that was it. That just I
Yeah, no, I heard that. Yeah, that he was traumatized. So that show Family Matters is what he's like his imaginary world
yeah,
basically. And
yeah,
Urkel's the kid that he shot, so he kind of puts up with him, and is his way to cope or some shit like that,
yeah,
right?
yeah. It's wild, man. Just anyway, just those things that I randomly find out there. And the other question, I don't know, is are we tying anything else to this Chicago insanity? Because I'm kind of, now you have my ears they're up now about the Rippers. We have to do something else about them, man, because
Oh yeah,
that
that
just
one.
sounds
Yeah,
interesting.
it's
um
it's pretty. They're pretty gruesome.
oh man, my god. Well, we had to get into them at some point, but yeah,
Definitely.
man, that blew my
I
mind.
mean, it's interesting, but it's like Jesus.
Yeah, there's some stuff that is very heavy out
Yeah,
there.
it's pretty heavy.
Yeah.
But
It's-
yeah. So that is the Tylenol murders
my
in
god.
a nutshell.
My
Oh, yeah,
god,
Captain.
in a
Yeah.
capsule. That encapsulates the Tylenol murders.
Oh man.
Wow. My goodness. Well, man, now I feel wiser and more paranoid. But you know what though? Not now. I mean, it's my paranoid is kind of pointless now because of the tamper proof. It's good to know the backstory of the tamper proof seal.
Right. Yeah. I mean, you think, oh, they're trying to make it safer for everybody. Well, yeah, but
Well, why?
some people died because
Yeah, that's
always something.
that's nuts. It's like that is a huge fear, and poisoning of a water source is a
Why?
huge fear
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
because
Yeah, that one is a big one.
yeah.
Big one.
But man, that's why we come on here, guys. That's why we come on here, folks, is to talk about the craziness, you know. And that's definitely insane. I didn't know.
So yeah. Again, if you like what you're hearing, you want to hear some more, subscribe to the channel, leave a
Yep.
comment, thumbs up, all that good stuff, so you can get notified every time a new video is posted from Daniel and I.
Yes.
Thanks again for joining us on the F House. Until next time, everybody. Peace.
Later.
In a world of shadows and hidden truths, we search for answers, we chase the clues. A podcast of enigma.